for those who are old enough, Scott Mitchell says that he could have brought titles or Super Bowl or Super Bowls to the Detroit Lions. Now, if you don't know who Scott Mitchell is, if you're old enough, it was pretty much the John Kitna story. Okay, he's from Salt Lake City, Utah. He went to Utah. Been married since '88. Okay, Scott Mitchell was a guy that didn't like Bobby Ross. We'll talk about that too. You know, he was a quarterback that we got from Miami. Didn't put up great statistical numbers in Miami. And I think I might have done a Forgotten Lions on him. I might get into Forgotten Lions for a couple weeks. Keep supporting those videos. Thumbs up, share the video. Now, in Miami, you know, matter of fact, he was a 4th round pick in Miami. His best year in Miami was a year he threw 12 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Then he signed with Detroit Lions for the 94 season through the 98 season, okay? And, you know, he had his first year here. He started 9 games. He had a 48.4% completion rate, 10 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Now, the very next year might have been statistically, that was his best year with the Lions in 95. They went 10-6. You know, he had a 59.3 completion with 4,338 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Other than that, he threw 17 touchdowns, 17 interceptions the following season. And then his second for last season, 19 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. And then from there, he got benched. Okay, then he went to Baltimore in '99, finished his career 2 seasons with Cincinnati. And pretty much that's it. Now, he had, you know, they got him in free agency from Miami. And, you know, for the most part, that was supposed to be their ticket. Now, I believe they got rid of Eric Kramer. Now, Eric Kramer, right after Bobby Lane and Matthew Stafford, he actually won a playoff game with the Lions. Now, you say, and then he ended up going to the Bears. Now, you say, you know, why did they get rid of him? Well, they got rid of him in '93, went to Chicago, played 4 seasons there, then ended his career in San Diego. Now, Eric Kramer struggled to win that battle, I think, with Rodney Peete, maybe even Andre Ware, whoever else was there. So that was the issue with him. He wasn't a clear-cut guy. He just won the playoff game with them. But now, digging into Scott Mitchell, now let's just talk about how he hated Bobby Ross. Now, you know, those of us who are old enough to remember Bobby Ross, he had some success, but yeah, Scott Mitchell hated Bobby Ross so much he considered beating him in 2000. Okay, former Detroit Lions quarterback Scott Mitchell reunited with 2 teammates on YouTube show Breaking Bread. Yeah, check their channel out, Lomas Brown and Herman Moore. The show which featured yours truly as their first guest. No biggie. The Lions hosted legends Herman Moore and Lomas Brown. Mitchell episode was interesting because they addressed the elephant in the room. Back in 2012, Brown said during a live ESPN spot, he purposely missed the block in 1994 to get Mitchell, who was playing poorly at the time, knocked out the game after Brown's comments. Mitchell fired back, calling Brown comments reprehensible. What happened next was after consulting the tape, it turns out Brown's story was completely false. He remembered for exaggerating the moment when calling it on live TV. I blanked out. Brown said back at the time, I started ranting and raving about what I did until I saw the play, and I actually though I did it. They've since buried the hatchet, but the two talk more about the moment on the YouTube show Breaking Bread. Check it out with Lomas Brown, Herman Moore. Once again, you should subscribe too. Brown, he admitted to putting his foot in his mouth, but apprehensive, whatever the hell their name, appreciative, excuse me, I don't know what's going on, sorry, of how Mitchell handled the situation when the two talked behind the scenes. Quote, the most comforting thing that came out of that was you and me end up talking. You were like, well, I knew the play that you were talking about and you didn't do that, Brown said. Quote, it was just a great lesson in that, you know, just lets you know who your friends really are. Interestingly enough, Mitchell encountered with the story of his own where a moment of weakness nearly led him to something emotional as well. Mitchell, like many Lions players in the late 90s, was not a fan of head coach Bobby Ross. Ross' no-nonsense style rubbed a lot of veterans wrong way. Mitchell especially had a bone to pick with Ross after the Lions head coach benched him just 2 games into the 1998 season. Will be Mitchell's last year in Detroit. A couple years later, Mitchell had revenge on his mind. In Week 4, 2000 preseason, Mitchell, now with the Bengals, was the opposite side of Ross' Detroit Lions. He wasn't focused on getting ready for the preseason. He was focused on building chemistry with his new team. or winning back his job. He wanted to get back at Bobby Ross. Okay, I quote, I had a scheme in my head. I was going to on a certain down, I was going to drop back and I was going to throw the ball right at Bobby Ross. Which they said they're serious about this. I was so mad, but when the moment came, Mitchell got cold feet. But looking back on the moment, Mitchell understood why Brown may have felt similarly towards him when the Lions quarterback was struggling. Quote, you go out on the field, you bust your butt out there, if you don't feel like everyone else is pulling their weight, you don't want them on the field. And I get, Mitchell said, I would feel the same way about a teammate, and probably vocally said it to people. So good that him and Lomas buried the hatchet. I forgot about that. And Lomas said that, but Lomas did end up going to win the Super Bowl in Tampa. He said playing in Detroit, not winning much, stopped him from going into the Super Bowl. Now, going into the Hall of Fame. Now, Mitchell, you know, at the end of the day, man, he wasn't pretty good, but apparently, if you heard me, most people didn't like Bobby Ross' style in Detroit. And, you know, Bobby Ross, he looked like a no-nonsense guy, you know. He looked like he was serious, and then again, it just remind you of what's old boy name? Matt Patricia. And that's why the Lions went from player coach to non-player coach to disciplinary to player coach. But Bobby Ross was born in 1936. He's 84 years old. Okay. Richmond, Virginia. So 98, a long time ago. 20 plus years ago. So he 103 and 101 overall in college. 77 and 68 in pros. One national championship. They say national for ACC. So he coached at Maryland. Maryland. Okay. 2004-2006 was his last stint in the Army. So I mean, like I said before, man, that's on him. You know, good that he got cold feet, because he probably would have been banned if they would have found out what he had did. So, you know, Robert Joseph Ross was his name. But Scott Mitchell still believes he could have won a Super Bowl with the Lions. Scott Mitchell was a forgotten name among circles and Lion Fest. Not the ones that grew up during it. He ain't forgot. 11 years Mitchell spent in the National Football League. 5 were in Detroit. He finished with a 27-30 record and 57 start with the Lions. Mitchell ranks third in Lions history in passing yards with 12,647, behind only Matthew Stafford and Bobby Lane. Mitchell was the Lions full-time starter for 3 seasons, including 95, which he led to the team to a 10-6 finish and a wild card appearance. In the first of 2 playoff appearances for Mitchell, the other coming in 97. In both playoff appearances, the Lions made first round exit. However, Mitchell believes the group could have done more with more time together. With the core comprised of Mitchell, running back Barry Sanders, and receiver Herman Moore, and offensive lineman Lomas Brown, and a plethora of other weapons, it's certainly possible he's right. Now a radio host in Utah, Mitchell appears on Breaking Bread with Herman Moore and Lomas Brown. Y'all go subscribe over there. It's on YouTube. Show hosted by Moore and Brown. On the show, the trio discussed a plethora of topics, including how their time together could have led to better results. Quote, "We were a really good football team," Mitchell said. "One of the frustrations in my life, I wish they would have given us more time. Look, we winning a Super Bowl and being effective in the playoffs, that's a hard thing to do. I mean, Tom Brady makes it look easy. Peyton Manning went to 5 or 6 years before he ever won a playoff game, and I wish they would have kept the group together longer to really give us a chance, because I think we could have done it. I really do. And I'll say that until the day I die." Okay. Blah. Okay, we already went through this. But yeah, I mean, of course you want to feel that way. They was talented. I mean, I think they just came out to run and shoot offense. Maybe they still was running it. I mean, I think at one point Johnny Morton came in. He was a really good receiver. Remember they had Jermaine Crowell. He had one good year, then he really got injured. He was really about to blow. But ultimately, Lomas moved on, I think, to Tampa. Herman Moore moved on to the Giants. And Scott Mitchell moved on to Baltimore, and eventually the Bengals. But, you know, Thomas, you know, Barry Sanders walked away. Maybe they could have talked Barry into staying. But the year after Barry left, they made the playoffs. People forget that. You know, like I said before, Scott just wasn't that good. You know, he was a 4th round selection. He had one good year. This just wasn't that good to me. I don't know if they could have won a Super Bowl with him. Maybe had he dedicated himself, if he would have dedicated himself a lot better, Maybe so, but I just think he was that guy. And they had a problem finding a quarterback. Had they been able to stick Stafford on that team in the 90s, I think they could have won the Super Bowl, even when they got lost in the NFC Championship game to the Washington football team. But in the 90s, the NFC was taking off, especially the NFC East. People forget that. The NFC East was on fire. I mean, Buffalo made it to 4 Super Bowls or something like that, and they lost the NFC team each time. The Cowboys, not the Eagles. The Giants won one. And the football team, they won a few in the 90s. People forget they prestige. But yeah, they won, you know. They did win one, but my whole thing is, you know, maybe had he been better, maybe had he been dedicated. I don't know what his message was, but, you know, you was just doing bad. We read your numbers off. Your last year being a full-time starter, I think he threw 17 interceptions. I mean, what we supposed to do with that? You know, what anybody supposed to do with that? What you supposed to do with that? You know, how you supposed to feel about that? You know, but you know, for him, you know, maybe he think about some things he could have done better. You know, it's good that him and Herman, I mean, him and Lomas buried the hatchet, because us men can fight, knock up, box it out, cuss at each other, go in the octagon. But at the end of the day, if it's something that can be healed, will be healed. With women, they hold on to shit forever, even between each other. Even women don't understand women. But yeah, man, this is my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think. I don't think, unless he worked hard, I don't think he could have been that guy. But don't forget me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can reach out anytime. You got a business question, inquiry, response to your video request. All my social media subscription. Twitter's the fastest way than Facebook, than Instagram. All my social media subscription. Facebook, well, no Facebook group. You can reach out anytime. You want to advertise your business channel, chop it up, video request, whatever. Twitter's the fastest way than Facebook. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App, CJGood313. That's the description. PayPal link there as well too. Best way to donate. Share the video. But hey, let me know what you guys think about it. If you guys who remember Scott Mitchell, if you don't, go look him up in the 90s. It was just a bad time for Lions quarterbacks. I'll tell you that right now. Very, very putrid time. Had you stuck Stafford or Bobby Lane in that era, they very much may well would have won the Super Bowl. But hey, appreciate it. Check out the Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Don't forget to check my main channel right here on YouTube. And that's Goodfellas Sports TV for more sports, music, news, and entertainment. Appreciate the love of sport. One time for the one time. Peace.